You know, I know it's Halloween. And yeah, we're still going live because I'm just that kind of basshead.
Hit the chill back and you stand up, stand up. Start to move your body with your hands up, hands up. Rock it to and fro while they coming through the door. Now they leaning on the bar with the cans up, cans up. Hit the flow fast and you back up, back up. DJ got it lit, turn the track up, track up. Moving side to side, feel the rhythm start to ride. Now they stepping to the beat, never slack. Just how low can you go? Can you go? Can you drop it right down to the floor, to the floor? With a body like a demon, make the men start screaming. Then you turn to the crowd, let them know. Ooh, how far down can you go? Can you go? Can you lay it right down on the floor, on the floor? With the body like a demon and the men still screaming. Then you turn to the crowd, let them know, let them know, let them know, let them know, let them know. Lights turn low when they line up, line up. Shorty got the vibe, time to wind up, wind up. Everybody moving when the bass line hit, and the whole damn place gonna bind up, bind up. Bass hit hard and they jump up, jump up. Hands in the air, let it pump up, pump up. Moving left and right when the hook come tight. Everybody in the house shit, just how low can you go? Can you go? Can you drop it right down to the floor, to the floor? With a body like a demon, make the man start screaming. Then you turn to the crowd, let them know. Ooh, how far down can you go? Can you go? Can you lay it right down on the floor, on the floor? With the body like a demon and the man still screaming. Then you turn to the crowd, let them know, let them know, let them know.
Oh, it's just not working, man. I'm too happy to be Jason. I'm having I'm having an amazing an amazing day. I mean, it's been a long day, and I look wrong, guys. This thing doesn't quite fit me just exactly right, and my beard my beard hangs out the bottom. This is why Jason was a clean shaven psycho killer. He didn't rock the facial hair because this is what happens. I am. Yeah, no shit, dude. Recones. You don't need recones for explodes. They just to keep exploding forever. Uh, you guys are such a hoot, man. Glad to see you out here tonight. But I am not staying in the Jason mask. It severely impedes my ability to see and function. But I did at least make an appearance with my fuzzy beard hanging out of the Jason mask. Oh, that reminds me. Let me see if I can find this picture that I had stashed. I grabbed this one. Where did it go? It's gone forever. Where did it go? I found this picture and I was like, oh, I got to save that for Debbie. He'll like that shit. And I can't find it now. That's a crying shame. Yeah, it was good. Let's see here. I'm going to keep looking for a little bit longer and see. It probably downloaded into another stupid folder because I'm an idiot. And I put things sometimes in the wrong place. Oh, that's a good one there, but that ain't what I'm looking for. What is this? There it is. Hot damn, I found it. Son of a bitch. I even amaze myself at my ability to figure out where the hell I put stuff because normally let me just hang on a second. I'm gonna switch over here. You guys, I'll just go over here and do it this way. This way. This way. I'm gonna do the whole. I'm doing this all for one picture. So I could not resist sharing this. y'all, let me see here. Hold on. Y'all better recognize. And, Dovey, this was just for you, brother. I saw this and I was like, he's got to see this. If he hasn't seen it, he's got to see it. We're taking all the explodes, man. All of them. It's like, how did you even find 10 red freaking explodes? Or 8, rather. He might have more than that. There may be 3 in the front. He has a lot. He just said, hey, there's room for 2 more subs back here. Let's just put 2 more back there. So, yeah, he's got a pretty serious amplifier on this. Take a closer look. This image is not terribly good quality. But you got your AGM battery down here on the bottom. Got a couple of fuses coming in from the alternator. That's well done. Power going to the battery. Then he's got a ground coming in from this side, going to the battery, and then the power and ground going to the amplifier. And look at these heavy wires he's got on these subs, man. He wants to make sure these explodes get all the power. The only thing I would probably say about this is running these RCAs right alongside the power wires might introduce some noise, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. It doesn't always. And but yeah, I mean, this is a I believe. Well, it's an SUV. It might be a Chevy. I'm not really sure. If you guys think let me know. Give you a back shot. But yeah, overall, it's not a bad install. It's just I do believe he compromised a little bit of airspace on this box. Just a little bit. Just letting it. Just looking at it. Let's see here. Mini louds. That's the right way to do it. You guys are so much fun, man. I'm just the idiot with the freaking YouTube channel. That's all I am. I got a little bit of boom boom in my Tahoe. I was out there today. It was a little warmer. I didn't wake up till this afternoon because I'm on this weird schedule and I'm sleeping all day and being awake all night again. And but I made it out there this afternoon for a little while. I cranked up the system and jammed some of my new tracks and tested them out. I like to test them. Sometimes I test them before I upload them. Sometimes I upload them and then because I'm pretty sure they're sounding good, and then I'll test them soon afterwards. And if they're not any good, I'll pull them back down. But I am working on a new track, guys. I don't know if I can get it to play or not. Let me see if I can get it to play. I'm going to pull it over here. I'm going to try to make it play. I have to do this. But this is a good track. Let me close the explodes. Minimize that. Close that. All right. Now I'm gonna try to play this track here. So give me a second. I want you guys to hear it. This is what I'm working on. I'm not done with it yet. It's like maybe I've got I don't know, probably 6 layers in it right now, and it's about a half done maybe. But I want y'all to hear what it is. Pretty cool. This is just a partially done track. I think you guys will get a kick out of it, though. If you don't have If you have any earphones or headphones or speakers, you might want to put on those because this is going to have a little bit of bass in it, and I think you'll get a kick out of it though. Let's go over here, turn this on, see if I can get sound over here first. Hopefully, we will have sound over there. Yeah, so let me go over here and check my little box that. Okay, let's see if we got sound here. Yeah, we do. All right, cool. So y'all check this out. Let me know what you think about this. I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put this over here, and then I'm going to put the chat back up here so we can talk about it. And we're gonna listen to this track. You guys will like this. Sunset in the ghetto. That's what I got in my head, right? Sunset in the ghetto. Mm-hmm. Sunset in the ghetto. What do you think? Any input on it yet now? It's got a good bass line to it. Yeah, it jams for like 4.5 minutes because I got a partner that's working on lyrics right now, and I sent him the files. I want him to hear it so he can have it go through his head. But I've got some ideas on lyrics right now. He's got a whole different thing going in his head, but whatever we come up with, it'll be cool. Yeah, I worked on that bass line quite a bit. I actually started out with just sine wave bass and sun. That's real strong, right? So a sine wave bass typically, well, that all is sine wave bass, but sine wave is typically a hard boom, right? Boom. It doesn't have any flavor to it. So in order to get that to sound like it's got some feeling in it, it takes a lot of tweaking. I mean, you have to go through. Not only do I had to create the entire bass line, bass note by bass note, with a sine wave, generate a sine wave, adjust it, put it in place, generate another one, put it in place. Then you got to go back and move them around and get them just right, and you have to do roll-offs and roll-ons on them so they have a nice smooth thing. And you want to have certain notes and parts peaking a little higher than others so it has some life and body in it. It's a lot of work. Just making the bass line for that takes like, it took me several days, pretty much hours every day to create a funky bass line that's got some soul to it. I start out with a beat track, which is just basically a drum track. And I do like 8 measures of the drum track. And then I repeat it until I have a chunk of song, right? And then I go back and start building the bass line. Then I go back in there and I pull out parts of the drums and put in more parts and put fills in and stuff. And I just slowly, completely build this into an actual track. It's a lot of work, man. It's like a lot of work. Uh, oh yeah, yeah, Cadillac. Yeah, I did. It's like a 4.5 minute track, man. It's long, and I'm going to just fade it out probably. But what I may upload that just as a beat track, you know. Um, but what I want to do is put some. I got lyrics in my head. I can hear them in the song. Um, I don't know exactly how it's going to be. I'm going to go down yet, but I've got this. I can imagine when I'm listening to it. I can imagine a orange, kind of an orange glow in the sky over over a ghetto, right? Like just rundown place. Society sees it as a rundown wasteland, but the people that live there see it as home and take pride in what they've got. And that you can see both of those elements in the image from perspective. So you can imagine the camera kind of panning down and then getting closer and closer. And as you move in, you realize that these are families. These are kids. These are friends. They're playing in the dirt, playing outside, and having fun. And mama's working her butt off to maintain something that's home, and everybody loves it, and they grew up there. And but then there's the element that's coming at nighttime, where everything's kind of go chaotic at night, and I can just see this whole thing, this fog of imagery, is turning through my head, and I can hear a female, like a big old girl, with some pipes, right? And she's in the background going, "Sunset and a ghetto," just dropping that shit, and uh, blowing it, right? Blowing it out. So I can hear this all and I can visualize all of this stuff, and I'm working on trying to get it, to turn it into a thing. So that's where I'm at now. Went completely off the deep end with my creative process. Let's see what's going on here. Rick Ross, how is everyone doing tonight? What's up, Rick? Corn Nuts in the house. Bobby B's in the house. Dubby's in the house. Frank's in the house. Red Pill. There's a whole lot of y'all. T. Corley, John Smith. Man, y'all are just all deep, deep. Cadillacs in the house. Let's see here. Explode don't need no recons, Corn Nuts said. Hell yeah, man. You guys are awesome. Let's see what's up. Happy Halloween, John said. Thanks for the Jason mask. It's a piece, man. I've had it for a long time. It's been on several podcasts. I put it on when I was on Big Jeff's live stream and cracked everybody on the live stream up. Like they were just talking and I randomly put this thing on, and they're like, but yeah, Jason's the coolest killer of all of them, man. He's just cool. He's cool because he don't kill kids. He only kills stupid teenagers when they're screwing, which is great. Let's see here. Corn Nut. Rick Ross, happy Halloween. Corn Nut Hole. The right way to do it. Many Louds. Ross said, "Damn, I just watched mine. As good as that was clean, man. I appreciate it." Yeah, they could have used audio bond capacitors and probably profile amps to really kick up a notch and more volt gauges. Thank you, John. Cadillac said, "I'm loving that big hell yeah, smooth sounds." You know what? I said that's the thing, man. I can remember how it felt to be in a place, and sometimes there's in my mind when those memories is a sound. There's a music to it, and it's not necessarily like a specific song. It's just the music has it's a feeling that is music, and that's hard to explain to someone who doesn't get it. But I can feel the music before it happens, right? I feel it into existence. Sometimes, maybe a little more bass. Oh, and yeah, I've got a it's got some drop to it. So right now, I got it toned back just a tad. I'm gonna bump the bass up a little bit more on the final mix, probably, but I don't want it to overtake the song. What I'm trying to do with this is I want it to have a good solid bass line that if you crank up your system, it's gonna push some subs, right? But I don't want it to be overwhelming because I want this to actually stand on its own as a musical piece. That's what I'm trying to create, guys. If you're looking at any of my original stuff on my channel where I'm doing CAE original, it always says CAE original. Well, mostly always. It's not a rebase of an existing song. It's an actual song on its own. What I'm trying to create is a catalog of music that is both bass heavy and low range for subwoofers and systems, but also has enough SQ to sound good on any system. And Stand Alone is a good sounding song with a solid bass line. That's what I'm trying to do, and also trying to get all the stuff that's in my head out because there's so much crap in there. Um, yeah, I like that jazz. It's got a bit of a jazz to it. So after I got done with the bass line and the drum beat, and I created the background synths, which give it the fullness and the full body of the track. I went into Suno and I told Suno to create some guitar licks, some bluesy guitar licks and spots in the track. I basically had to give it instructions to be creative, which was it's definitely not easy, but in the end, man, Suno's powerful, guys. And uh, every song that I pull out of Suno is good. It all is good, but it's not all the thing that's in my head. So I have to keep plucking at it until I get it to produce the thing that I want. So whenever I pulled it up and I got a guitar track out of it, and I took the guitar track off of everything and I put it in there, then I had to blend it. Uh, and had to work that in and then remaster that about three times now, and I've still got a lot more to go, but it's just a lot of work, man. And I can pull so like Suno. If you guys ever worked with MIDI files, um, Suno has the ability. If you pay for the biggest version of it, you can download the tracks, each individual tracks. You can do that with the mid-level version, but the big version allows you to download tracks and also the MIDI file for each track. So, if you guys have worked with MIDI files before, you know that is a powerful thing because you can pull that MIDI file up and put it in a MIDI editor and completely edit that and make it what you want. So it can give you like 75% of what you want, and then you can pull it up in an editor and make it 100% what you want. So yeah, it's an extremely powerful tool. I mean, yes, you can say, write me a song about taking a dump, and it can write you a whole song, but it's going to sound like that. It's going to sound like you're taking a dump. It's going to sound well produced, but stupid. I try to get what's inside of me out. I even have some parts where I actually play the guitar and record parts of me playing the guitar and put those in songs. So it's a tool. It's like having some extra band members in the room that are and trying to explain what you want them to do in sign language. Yeah. Let's see here. Going forever about this. Can you explain if box rise can be prevented? No. Or predicted? You can predict all boxes are going to have. You're always going to have impedance rise. It has nothing to do with the box, really. Well, it kind of sort of does, but not. But it's indirect. Whenever you move whenever you move a coil over a magnet, you create an electricity, and that feeds back on the line and impedes the power coming from the amplifier. So while the amplifier is moving the subwoofer, right, the subwoofer is generating power and pushing that back towards the amplifier, which is the impedance that you're calling box rise. There's the only thing you can do you can't do anything about it, just more power. I mean, you can do what a lot of people do and drop your own load down to like a half ohm or a quarter ohm or whatever. But then you're running into issues where even though at box rise you'll be playing a good ohm load, but whenever you're playing notes that don't have a lot of rise, you're going to be way over, running way too much power out of that amplifier. So it's very likely to die. The low impedance stuff like that kills amplifiers quick. It generates a lot of heat. So there's no way you can stop that. If you want to play lows, you're going to have rise. So, okay, but you had a multiple choice question. Is it based on the efficiency of your box? It's more based on the notes that you're playing. So, whatever, you're going to have, the faster the sub is moving, the more rise it's going to have. But also, the longer the throw is, the more rise it's going to have. So, I would surmise that you'll have 2 points of rise. One at your highest, your loudest frequency where your sub is really moving through there, back and forth a lot, and the other at another low peak somewhere down low. So it'll be two peaks, I think. This is me making a guess because I'm not really sure. But I do know that speed of the sub moving and the distance it moves, those are the two things that create rise. And if you're playing at your tune and your sub's not moving much at all and your port's just giving it all, you're probably not going to have much rise at that point because the sub isn't moving very much. Although it is moving fast, it's not moving very much. You should do is get the Base Ed Garage watt meter and put that on your system, because it'll actively tell you what your rise is while you're playing music. So if you run a tone sweep through it where you can actually see the tone, right, you can watch as the impedance goes up and down throughout that sweep and find where your highest amount of rise is and all that stuff. Technically, I think at your port tuning, you should have the least amount of impedance because your sub basically sits still. And think of it like swinging a swing. Okay. So if you're swinging a swing, you're swinging a kid on a swing, right? It's going to do it at speed, right? That's a horrible speed. Maybe I can get it. Yeah, that's going at this speed. So your kid, I'm just going to do it with my hand. The kid, you're swinging the kid. Now, if you're swinging them at the same frequency they want to vibrate at, right, you can stand in one spot and just barely give them a little push each time they come back there, and you'll continually accelerate them. You can keep them swinging with just a little bit of push, a little bump. But you're at their FS. You're at the kid and the swing's FS when you're doing that. Now, on the other hand, if you want to severely change the rate that kid's swinging back and forth, you've got to actively go through and hold them pretty much the entire way, because they're not wanting to, and that's what the amplifier is doing most of the time. It's actively holding on to the swing and pushing it up to a point and then bringing it back to a point. When you're at that port tuning and everything is humming right along, you're the subwoofer and you're just tapping the swing, and then it swings out and comes back, tapping it again. And that's what the sub's doing when it's at port tuning, is like that. It's creating that perfect storm where it just barely takes any energy to really generate a lot of movement. There's multiple things going on in that example I'm giving you. I'm just trying to get a mental picture of it out there. Don said, make that song extended, just like an extra 2 minutes at the end or the beat. Yeah, I got you. I got you. That's kind of what I got going on already. But excellent. Excellent. You're thinking the same way I am. I love that. John said, can you explain a vehicle's cabin frequency versus cabin gain? I have a ported box tuned to 32 hertz. Does my vehicle cabin change how that 32 hertz port behaves? There's all kinds of, so there's many sciences involved in this question. And I'm only somewhat versed in a few of them. So I'm going to probably make mistakes trying to explain this, but I'll take a poke at it. I'll stab it. We'll see if it dies or not. Um, so explain cabin frequency versus cabin gain. Cabin frequency is the distance basically between your subwoofer output, which could be a port or the cone, and your ear and the meter, wherever you've got the meter at. Uh, Basically, the further you are away from that cone, the lower the frequencies are that you can reproduce. Now, there's a whole bunch of asterisks to this, okay? So don't jump ahead of me. Follow me. That's a whole sound wave. And a whole sound wave is from the center point of the line up, down, and back to the center again. That S shape is one wave. But when it comes to quarter wave theory, it's the name quarter wave theory. All you need to be able to produce that entire wave to your ear is just from the line to the top of the first peak, because the rest of it is the same. It's just a quarter of the wave will tell your ear exactly what the rest of that's going to do. And that's not exactly right, but it's close. It's in the ballpark. Again, I'm going to screw this explanation up. So what you want to do is create a scenario where once you figure out what that quarter wave is, now mind you, when you take your subs and fire them toward the back of the car and then bounce them off and bring them back up, that adds length to that wave. So if you are firing your subs back, you would need to measure from your subwoofer to the wall that's going to bounce off of, and then from that wall to where the meter is going to be. All right, or where your head is going to be, whatever you're trying to impress, the meter or your brain. And then you take that and you figure up the speed of sound. Using the speed of sound, you can approximate it. And what the hell is going on over here? Hey, hang on a second. I think my friend may have came by and he's pecking on my freaking window. Maybe I'm losing my mind. Just going to pull it up here because I had it closed. No, he's not here that I'm aware of. Okay. Yeah, that kind of crazy stuff happens. My buddies will come to my window and peck on my window because they know I don't hear the door when they knock. Anyway, speed of sound, length of wave. The longer your vehicle is, the longer a wave in there. You take that and divide it by 4 to get the quarter wave, which is something that you can actually fit inside of a cabin. So wherever your quarter wave is, you could do stuff like position your sub so that its distance relative to the rear or the front is going to give you that quarter wave at a specific location. And then you can play that frequency and you should finish that wave right at that point. There's a whole lot of crap that goes on with quarter wave. But is it the same as cabin gain? No. Though it can be related to cabin gain. Cabin gain is a whole lot of things. Okay, so it's like reflections of that sound wave bouncing off of something coming back to your ear. That can be cabin gain. Also, if the reflections stay in time with each other, so that when it comes back to your ear, they're both on the same upstroke, then you get double of the upstroke. So you end up with the gain on that regard. You can also end up with nulls because of that same reason. where two frequencies are opposite each other when they hit your ear, and then there's a null because they cancel each other out completely, and the frequency becomes nothing. It just goes away, or it gets reduced by a whole lot. There's a whole god awful ton of things that are happening. Let me see if I can boil this down a little bit. If I have a porta box tuned to 32 hertz, does my vehicle cabin change? Yes. Okay. It can change it in multiple ways. It can also boost it. Cabin of a large vehicle is usually somewhere around high 30s to low 40s on a cabin gain. It's just the size of the vehicle and the shape, and it's just the way it ends up being. But that's one of those shortcut things. As far as can it change? Does it change how the 32 hertz port behaves? Yes, opening your window will change how the port behaves. Opening both windows will change how the port behaves. The front of your vehicle outside of your sub enclosure acts like an enclosure itself. So if it's sealed, it's going to have one particular characteristic, and then larger ports are going to have different characteristics. And a port doesn't have to be anything long or skinny. A port can be a window. Sometimes if you run perimeters in a box building program, and you set your port tune up, but you can look at it and I go, why is the port only 2 inches long? That's how long it needs to be. In this scenario, ports can even go into the negative, which is really strange. But your port length can be as much as a window frame. And then rolling your window down this much might give you one thing, and rolling it down the rest of the way, or opening both windows or opening the doors are going to give you totally different responses. And so, yes, it does affect it. Am I qualified to explain exactly how that works? No, but I will say that the cabin acts like another chamber, and the windows or doors act like further orders to a box. So, technically, a ported enclosure could be considered a sixth order in the right build, if it's a wall, especially. Is it going to be a practical sixth order? Probably not, but yeah, it could be considered that way because you've got another chamber after the port, and then that port also has a chamber to let. So depending on where you are, you would get different. Yeah, it's complicated. So the answer is yes, but that's as good as I can positively tell you. And it's a very complicated subject with a whole lot of different fields in it. Eric said, question for all. CAE familiar. Hopefully somebody will jump in chat and further try to weed out what I just said. Total idea and theme. Oh yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's my. I'm looking forward to it, man. It's coming. I've been working on. I got some stuff I'm working on. It ain't ready for the public yet, but I had to pause my musical work so we could do a live show tonight. I was late too. Graphaholic said, "Happy Halloween. Hope you guys are having a good day today." Play it and live it's in the house. What's up, man? Eric said, question for the CA familiar. Fourth order. Oh my God, you guys are working me over tonight. Let's see. Fourth order, dual 12 and or single 15 sub suggestions. And what ratio y'all picking for a daily use, clamping 5K, hands-on experience? Answered. Appreciate it. So fourth order, that's one piece of information. So he's wanting to do a fourth order, dual 12 or a single 15. A dual 12 is going to have more cone area. And depending on the two subs, I don't know, that single 15 may be a freaking monster and the two 12s may be meh, but considering they're both about the same, the two 12s are going to give you more cone area. But it also depends on your baffle restrictions and all that stuff. But let's move along here. And the other question was what ratio? If you want to run a daily, man, like a 1 to 1.25, a 1 to 1.3, 1 to 1.1, That's what you want to look at. Somewhere between a 1 to 1.1 to a 1 to 1.3. And that general range is going to give you the flattest. So the way that ratio thing works is at a 1-to-1 ratio, it's going to be flat, dead nuts flat. I mean, it's just as flat as you can possibly make it. As that ratio gets bigger, the sound pressure, the SPL gains are going to go up in a smaller area, though. So as the ratio gets taller, the width of the notes that you can play, the width of that spectrum gets smaller, and the peak gets higher. Up to like when you're getting to like a 20-to-1 or some crazy shit, you're going to have like one note that you can just bust glass with, but it won't do nothing anywhere else. So and you want to keep the ratio down to close to 1-to-1 to get most of the musical, which is what you're looking for, and boost it a little bit. That's why I said 1 to 1.1 to 1 to 1.3, somewhere in that range is going to give you a good kick down there toward the bottom with a good extra amount of power, but it's still going to give you a nice wide musical bill. Hopefully that helps. And you're doing a 5K or clamping 5K. That's like an 8,000 watt amp. Yeah, I'd probably run the dual 12s, depending on all the stuff about those 12s. DB32 FS is 20 hertz. Okay. Hello. I cannot pronounce your name, but hello and welcome to the show. Glad you can make it. You measure the quarter wave from the back of the cone. You measure it technically. You measure it from like the dust cap. If you're wanting to really freaking get in the weeds, you measure it from the dust cap. Everything that you measure on a speaker, like time alignment and all that stuff, everything that you measure on a speaker is measured from the center of the speaker, which is the dust cap. But having said that, a few inches back and forth aren't going to change much when it comes to something as big as a bass, a low end note like that. But if you're wanting to get in the weeds, you do it that way. And you also have to remember that unless you're running a bipolar wall, you're running a bipolar wall, you're in control of literally everything because you've got it all right close. But if you're running anything else, you're going to have sound coming off the front of the speaker that's going to be traveling directly, if it's pointed forwards, right? Traveling directly to the listening position. And then you're also going to have sound coming off the speaker radiantly that's bouncing off the wall and then come into the speaker to the listening position. So you're going to have that group delay off of those things. And if you have a port, you're going to have one cycle behind. You're going to have a port that's pumping out a sound wave. And it's going to be a little bit of delay there because you got a cycle, one cycle before that port's putting energy in, getting the subwoofer's putting energy in the port. So that creates group delay. So there's so much, guys. I can't even put all this crap into words. Some of it I've just created an innate understanding of it, and I don't actually have a way to explain it. But again, it makes an image in my head that I can see. Can't always put it into words, though. No problem, John. Cadillac said a puzzling question. If weight does not equate to loudness, why do these companies keep making these heavy ass subs heavier and heavier? Well, weight does not directly equate to loudness. But if you're using ferrite motors, weight can be related to the strength of the motor, or also the depth of the motor. So if all the known things are basically what they're trying to do, let me just start from here. Basically what they're trying to do is create a coil magnetic field that's long enough um, to where the coil has room to move through a frequency, the lowest frequency the subwoofer can play, right? Whatever that is, say 20 hertz. It has room to move all the way through 20 hertz and and utilize the maximum amount of X max that it can. So if you give the driver, say, 30 millimeters of X max, that's 60 millimeters total travel up and down, right? The coil or the magnet, the motor, needs to be big enough for that coil to move all the way to one end, that 35 millimeters, and still have a little extra room, and then come back all the way out to that same 30 millimeters and be able to move inside the gap, inside the magnetic field for that entire time so that you're not losing control of that subwoofer. There's a whole lot of mechanical craziness that goes on into building a good subwoofer. It's not as easy as just going, you can make a woofer, but it's not going to play very well if you just stick parts together, unless you get lucky. Now, a larger motor will have more ferrite and probably more steel, because the ferrite motor is only part of it. The magnets in there, the magnetic slugs are in there, but they also have the caps and all that stuff, and that is what actually creates the gap and creates the magnetic field in the gap. And getting all that to jive right is why you have professionals design your shit, not crazy people like me. But yes, so typically heavier motor means it's probably got a little more power, and it probably has a little more throw. But if the subwoofer's got 30 millimeters of throw, it may not require a big, huge magnet because it's only going to go so far anyway. If a subwoofer has 60 millimeters of X max each direction, the magnet on that's going to be massive because it's got to be able to carry that subwoofer, for 120 or 120 millimeters. If you're wondering, there is a sub out there that's being developed. It's going to have 75 millimeters of one-way travel, and I've been talking to the person that's developing that. That's going to be insane. That sub's going to be able to jump off the floor and clear a few feet in the air before it comes back down. It's just going to be absolutely stupid. But yeah, it gets crazy. So yeah, it's like a V8 in a car, a V8 versus a V6 versus a four banger. In the right scenario, if you're just saying, well, more cylinders is better, right? To a point, and then you start getting into situations where there's less weight, so you can do this thing and that thing, and then the efficiencies all start to add up. And once that happens, that metric goes out the window. But if you're just looking generally, a V8 is going to have more power than a four-cylinder, right? Because it has more cylinders. But that doesn't mean that it always works out that way. So that's why, in a nutshell. Dubby. But do you measure port? Or from the dust cap to the window? Both. Dust cap to wherever you're trying to create your pressure at. And for most people, it's to the point where the glass meets the dashboard. That's where you measure to. And the port's going to have a different measurement. But the ports, that's going to be what it's affected by. So yeah, you have to measure them separately. If you've got 6 subwoofers in the car, and 2 of them are 5 feet away from the dash, and then 2 of them are 7 feet away, and 2 of them are 9 feet away, they're all going to be affected by this. That's why a horizontal plane, with subwoofers moving away from you, creates its own problems, because it's not going to load symmetrically. They're all going to load. That it can be good. They can all load at different lengths and give you slightly a wider band, but there's all kinds of problems that come into laying down the box in the car, because the subwoofers are different distances away from your listening position or from the meter. So they have to all Man, it gets crazy. And yeah, you can do time alignment on subs like that and group them together to where they're, but then you run into other problems because the time alignment is done at a frequency. And so at some points it'll be great, and at some points it'll be complete garbage. And so a time alignment is really not a solution. You think it might be, but then you realize it's creating more problems. Um, the best solution is to build a flat wall. That's like physically that anytime you can solve a problem in the physical world first, you know, as much as possible, you're going to have less to solve in the digital world later. Um, for example, getting your speakers out in front of you as far away from you as you can so that the relative difference in distance they are from you is smaller, is going to make it easier to solve that problem later in time delay and stuff. As much of it as you can solve physically is better than trying to just let the DSP catch everything. Uh, oh yeah, I don't know what you said. Why too? Way behind on that. G Body, what's up, man? Okay, let's see what you got to say. Graphaholic says, "Do you have any thoughts on the Slapz Audio Street Pro 1 titanium tweeters? Have not used those yet. I think that's the little ones, the 1 inchers. I'm doing custom 3-way cabinets, and they're a good price while being at the right size. I would have no problem trusting that equipment, especially given the price that it comes at. You're not going to lose anything in that exchange. I don't have any right now. I need to get. I'm behind on that. I need to get them to send me a couple sets of those, so I can test them out. But yeah, I'm using the big screamers, man. The pro audio stuff. That's what I'm using on my Tahoe. And while I highly recommend them because they sound amazing, and the price is great on them too, they won't work in a 1-inch hole. Those things are 3 inches. They're huge. It's like you think they're the same size as those 2.5s that you see everybody carry, but that half-inch difference means that they are massive. They're big old chunky things. They weigh like, I don't know, 2 or 3 pounds a piece. They're heavy and they're big and they sound great and they get loud. But yeah, I'd give them a poke, man. I would have no problem recommending them. Cadillac Don says, some of the loudest subs are light as hell. That's because of Neo. So, like I said, it's like comparing V8s to 4 cylinders. Once you take a 4 cylinder and supercharge it, now it smokes all the V8s, right? That's kind of what that is. Neos are an expensive way to build a magnet. And what you gain from that is extremely lightweight and small size, but they're expensive. So you can get that big, huge energy that you want in the motor itself, in a lightweight package. A small lightweight package, you just have to more money, That's how that works. So yeah. And that's the confusing part, is you're dealing with we'll be comparing an old iron block 4-banger from the 1970s to an iron block V8 from the 1970s. Well, the V8's more power, but then when you bring in one of these, aluminum blocks with the dual overhead cams and variable valve timing and turbo and supercharge and all that kind of crap, you completely change the parameters of everything at that point. So, yeah. What's up, man? Snurlix. Yeah, you don't have enough vowels in your name. You need more vowels. You have 0 vowels. I still like it though. Yeah, if I try to do the cubic foot for the vehicle itself, the port's negative. Yeah, the port goes back. That's when you get to that negative port shit, you've entered something wrong. And it's not that you didn't do it correctly. It's that you shouldn't have done it at all, or something. I can't remember exactly. Bobby, Bobby. Yeah, Bobby said, "Why? I don't know why, Bobby. I don't know." Um, but yeah. Now, having said that, uh, it's more about bigger magnet is more about more motor force, um, but it's also about longer throw. So, depending on what they're doing with the magnet, can change things. So you need to get more motor force to overcome the box, the air compression. To have more strength. Um, so if you and motor force is tricky, but you're dealing with is an electromagnet pushing against a positive or a permanent magnet. So if you think about it like this, imagine that you got a big strong guy, you know, big Cadillac. Cadillac is on roller skates, okay? Now he's on roller skates and he's going to go up and push a car on roller skates. Now he's got lots of motor force, but he ain't got no grip, right? He's got lots of strength, but no traction. So then he has some kids start piling up on the back of his legs to keep his little feet from moving, and now he's able to gain some traction, right? Well, no matter how strong that coil is, that's what Don is. He's the coil. If you don't have enough motor to push against, then it's just pushing on roller skates. It's just going not. It's not going to do anything. And they deal with this in the what the hell is it called? Roller coaster world. They use the magnetic propulsion system to shoot those trains out of the thing. They have they'll have magnets on the cars and on the trucks that are right by the tracks. They'll have magnets, and they send a pulse like a base signal down the track. And as that wave hits that magnet, it pushes the train. Well, if there was a scenario where the train had enough mass that it couldn't immediately start moving, that pulse would just jump past that magnet and it would just sit still. Fortunately, they're sending a continual burst of power, so even if it jumps, it's going to grab the next one. But that's the idea. You have to have enough magnetic field for that coil to work against. It's like a gear that ain't touching, right? It's like two gears, but they're not touching. They're just pushing each other with magnetic force. I know I'm having a horrible time explaining shit today. Y'all are working me over, man. I like it. Thank you. I needed that. And Bobby said, "Why? Because Bobby's an idiot, but he's a good idiot. He's the best kind of idiot. He's like that dumb guy that keeps running around in the front yard without his clothes on. You have to call the cops on him over and over again. But he weeds your garden while he's out there." He's like, and they're pulling weeds out of the garden. Yeah. He's like, you know what I mean? Hey, what are you going to do? Close the blinds, right? I don't know. So we are doing this next week. Let me pull this up. I want to give you guys the information. In case you guys happen to be in the area or have the ability to be in the area, this is a horrible flyer. Let me pull up another one. Okay, I'm going to put this up over here, and I'm going to put this flyer up so you guys can see this. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. That's not it. Is that it? That might be it. That would be it. All right. This is happening right here. This is coming up. And this will be my last show, probably my last show for the year. And I will absolutely be there. And this is a good thing because it's for kids. So if you guys are going to come to a show, this is one of them. It's going to be at a church. So for the religious folks out there, you'll be right at home. In Fairgrove, Missouri, you only have to bring one children's toy to get in. That gets you in the whole thing. You can bring as many of them as you want to. And this is a good deal because it's going to go to kids. Kids are getting these toys. So it's like Toys for Tots, only base. Because why? Bobby says. Saturday, November the 8th, 2025, from 10 p.m. to 3 p.m., from 10 a.m. That's a mistype. Don't worry about that. From 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. This isn't the final one. At the Peace Chapel at 2260 North Farm Road, 193 in Fairgrove, Missouri. And you bring yourself a toy and you will get in. We're going to have the Midwest SPL out there. We're going to be doing a show and shine to show off your ride. We're going to be doing lots of demos, and I'm going to be out there doing the demo in the base machine. It's going to be completely family friendly, and there's also going to be, we're going to have cops out there. The cops are going to be out there too. They're coming out. I think they have some kind of little thing they're doing out there as well. So it's going to be a very family friendly environment, and I'm looking forward to it. Been looking forward to it for a while. And this is from my friend, the Mad Scientist. He is sponsoring this event. Eagle Designs, or Bay Area Butcher. If you look in my description of my videos in the last few months, it's in there. The box designs, to get custom box designs done. He is the one that's sponsoring this show. He's putting it on. So it's a good thing, and we enjoy that. We like it. Cadillac said, I just feel like the duck needs a busty lady duck to come out and dance with him after watching him bust a move. Man, you know what? You never know what the quack is going on with him. He's a shady duck, man. Very shady duck. So who all's doing candy tonight? Anybody handing out candy? I'm sure it's probably over by now. It's like 10 o'clock. There's only a few hardcore. When I was a kid, man, I'd go till like midnight. I didn't care. I was all about picking up candy. And I was one of those kids that just, it's like everybody else. It was like, oh, man, we're going to go to this street over here. We're going to do this street over here. No. Me and my friends, we started on one side of town and zigzagged our way all the way to the other side of town. We didn't miss a house, dude. We hit everybody. We wasn't playing. We wasn't scared, and we was bagging candy, son. And I mean, we bagged up a lot of candy. I'd be eating candy from that shit for like months. We took that for real. That was for real. It was a one chance to go around and ask people for food all night long. I mean, hell, dude, that was on. Play It and Live It said, hey, I brought a Slapz fuse holder and I remembered to use you. Cool. Yeah, pennies matter, man. It's like 10% or something like that. They're good fuse holders too. I wish we had a couple of different ones. I want to have, you can get the singles if you buy the amp wiring kit, and that wiring kit is really nice. That alt gauge wiring kit is stupid nice, and it's priced right. But you get a regular kind of a standard issue A&L fuse holder with that one. I wish we had, and I've been trying to get this done. Wish we had the more of a single fuse block. And I like the ones that have separate bolts for the fuse and the wires. So you can take the fuse off without disconnecting the wires, without loosening the connection of the wires, like two separate ones. I like that style. I would love to see us get those. I guess there's not a lot of people that are using that style, and I think they're amazing. I'm also, there is, for those of you who stuck around to the end of this show or to now, Slapz is releasing probably, I don't know when it's coming, but there is going to be coming, re-releasing a new version of a half bridge 8,000 watt amp that will be capable of swinging and dynamically hitting 10,000 and 12,000 watts. This is going to be a body slamming amplifier. So for those of you who've been looking for some half bridge love, well, they had them before, but this one is a completely new build house, and everything is new. And we're looking for some really solid, solid gear. Also, in the spring, probably the spring of next year, we're going to have a budget line that's going to be coming out, 1,500 watt subs, I think. 1,500 watt RMS subs that are going to be priced really nice. And they're going to have the same voice coil from the 10-inch Oblivion version 1, which was like a 2.5-inch or 3-inch voice coil. I can't remember. But it's going to have the same coil pack as that, the same motor from that subwoofer. And they're going to be a whole line from like 10, 12, and 15s, priced really nicely for a budget offering, and still going to body slam a whole lot of crap out there that's still a whole lot more expensive. So it's going to be another way of getting good equipment at an excellent price. That is coming in the spring. So if you're trying to find some real serious budget stuff, but you also want good stuff, you want to wait till that comes out. Be patient, because it's in the works. Details are happening, and all the rest of the design stuff is all happening. But it's coming in the early part of next year. So there's lots of things happening. Slapz is not sitting on their laurels. We are developing new products over there. Yeah. Play it and let it sit. That'd be cool. Those breakers are temperature sensitive. Make sure they're not catching a cold. Oh yeah, man. No kidding. You don't want them to catch a cold. If they start sneezing, they'll shoot lightning or something, something devastating and dangerous like that. So what should I eat, man? Should I get some, I'm thinking canned chili and crackers and cheese. How's that sound to y'all? Maybe a Diet Coke. I haven't had a Diet Coke today. Holy bejesus. I'm drinking sweet tea, man, and I need a Diet Coke. I need some of that heavy caffeine. And then I get back to work on Don's new song. Let me see if I got something else I'll play for you guys before we jump out of here. Because I'm in the mood for love. Simply because you're near me. Funny, but when you're near me, always in the mood for love. All right, here we go. Yeah, I went way back, right? Just way back. I went all the way back to get to that one. You guys haven't heard this yet. Check this shit out. Let's bring on something new here. Here we go. If you haven't heard this, you're going to listen to it now. Headphone time. Get those bass reproduction ready.
Yeah. You hear about guys in the car audio. You can see subs flexing at the sound off shows. But what you don't see and can't believe is a girl dropping bass, shaking up concrete. I crack the ground with a rumbling sound. I can go toe to toe with the best in town. And just for kicks, do my own hair tricks. On the side, my ride be floating bricks. Bass drum my ride like it's on hydraulics. Roll your hair out like turbofilics. I gather up the bass, put it all in bulk, and smash the ground like Incredible Hulk. Don't get it wrong, I'm a real team player. I'm a wide running box, but a meter slayer. Big wall of amps and a wall of subs. Storm of sound, gonna tear shit up. Run your system, not your mouth. Turn it up, let it out. All knobs to the right. Hidden mean, hidden tight. Run your system, not your mouth. Turn it up, let it out. Start a fire, cause a scene. Bass heads, low and mean. Keep it clean. Bass heads on the scene. Keep it clean. Bass heads on the scene. Keep it clean. Bass heads on the scene. Playing low, playing loud. Run your system, not your mouth. Power in, power out to keep the bass bumping. Got big alternators to keep the power pumping. I wire tight, I tune precise. Ain't no shortcut, just pay the price. Every fuse clean, every line exact. One wrong move and it all goes black. Knob to the right, gotta keep the bass pumping. Clean and tight, it's jumping. Meter going high, gonna bust my glass. Gotta ride home with glass in my ass. Voltex steady, queued up track. Baseline heavy, make the pavement crack. Watch that roof, it'll slap your head. I got low so deep, they could wake the dead. Run system, notch them out. Turn it up, let it out. All knobs to the right, hit a mean, hidden tight. Run your system, notch them out. Turn it up, let it out. Start a fire, cause a scene. Bass hits, low and mean. Keep it clean. Bass hits on the scene. Keep it clean. Bass hits on the scene. Keep it clean. Bass hits on the scene. Playing low, playing loud. Run your system, notch them out.
I like that.
Run your system, not your mouth.
I figured y'all might get a kick out of that. That's one of my last tracks. I wrote it for a female. I wanted to have a female represented because we only have maybe 20% females show up at our shows, but some of the loudest vehicles out there are some females. And now a lot of you guys are thinking, oh yeah, it's just, somebody built the ride for her and she shows up and she does, runs it, or whatever. That's not the case. We have one of my buddies, his wife, he's an SPL competitor. His wife is as well. She does her own build. He helps her build boxes, helps her design boxes, but who doesn't get help with those things? She's back there running all the wire. She's loading the subs. She's doing all the tuning. She's doing all the work, and she just pulled a 161 at the finals this year on a non-walled build. I mean, this is a below window build, a 161. That's some shit right there. So we have quite a few females that are competing and they do real well. So I wanted to put a track out that talked a little bit about the girls and, give them some love because they need it. Bass women are awesome. Let's see here. Yeah, it's on my YouTube channel, bro. That's what I was just playing. I was playing it straight off of YouTube. So you can pull it up and play it there. I don't have any downloads available anywhere yet. I put a lot of stuff on SoundCloud. This is not on SoundCloud right now, but even SoundCloud, you're not able to download from there. I haven't got into a distribution kind of a situation yet. If I make it available for free downloads, then it kind of cuts into my potential income. So what I wanted to do is set it up on something like Amazon Music or something somewhere that I can get some residuals off the stuff that I build. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm still trying to figure that all out. But the cool thing about uploading it to YouTube is it automatically copyrights it because it's already on YouTube and it's dated. So if anybody else uploads it on YouTube, it'll automatically get them a copyright problem, and then I'll know about it and they can pull it back down. So that's cool. YouTube creates a copyright for me, but I'm working on that. And yes, it is available on my YouTube channel. Just look it up. It's right there. Have you guys noticed I'll put that over here for a second. You guys noticed that Slapz logo? Team Slapz? Yeah, that's a little poke into the future of things that are coming around. So just heads up on that. And Team Slapz is going to be going to be local, a few people right now, but it may end up becoming like a very small time national thing with very select people getting involved. But then we'll have the Team Slapz fan club, or the people that are just friends of the club. I'm probably going to put out some t-shirts and stuff like that on the thing. So if you guys are interested in something like that, with a logo similar to what I've got up on the thing here. If you're interested in something like this, then let me know, and we'll push forward a little more with that. Rob Payne said, "What is that song I played in the intro to this video?" I don't remember. I put it on there. I made it as an intro. Hang on a minute. Now I'll play it. I'll play it again. I'll figure it out and see if I can play it. And Livet said, "Some of the ladies got some crazy bills and the demos are awesome." Hell yeah, man. They don't care. They'll push it. They'll push it all the way, dude. I love it. You're talking about this, right?
Hit the chill back and you stand up, stand up. Start to move your body with your hands up, hands up. Rock it to and fro while they coming through the door. Now they leaning on the bar with the cans up, cans up. Hit the flow fast and you back up, back up. DJ got it lit, turn the track up, track up. Moving side to side, feel the rhythm start to ride. Now they stepping to the beat, never slack. Just how low can you go? Can you go? Can you drop it right down to the floor, to the floor? With a body like a demon, make the men start screaming. Then you turn to the crowd, let them know. Ooh, how far down can you go? Can you?
How low can you go? And it is on there. It's available. Let me go back and look real quick. What got me started was to create music that I could use in videos without having to worry about copyright strikes. I'm pretty sure it's this track right here. Yeah, it's this track right here. So if we switch back over here, it looks like this one.
Hit the chill back and you stand up, stand up. Start to move your body with your hands up, hands up. Rock it to and fro while they coming through the door. Now they leaning on the bar with the cans up, cans up. Hit the flow fast and you back up, back up. DJ got it lit, turn the track up, track up. Moving side to side, feel the rhythm start to ride. Now they stepping to the beat, never slack. Just how low can you go? Can you go? Can you drop it right down to the floor?
So if you're looking for that
with a body like a demon, make the man.
That would be the one. And why can't I see it? I'll put it in the chat down here for you guys if you're interested in that. I'll link it down here so you can find it. Make it easier for you to look it up. So yeah, hopefully you guys had a good night, and I think I'm gonna go away and eat some chili, and we'll see you guys on probably on Tuesday when they're doing that thing, and then or no, Sunday. Yeah, so it'll be Sunday. See you guys on Sunday, and we'll sit back and we'll talk a little more about how this weekend went down. Maybe I'll have that track ready by then. For now, guys, we're going to get the duck out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby. And all of them videos are before I changed over to
banging up and down the street, slamming it to the ground. Big subwoofers are getting loud. You can feel the booming sound.
Oh yeah,
getting ready to go. Got it shined up for the show. Power's charging, amps are amping, gonna let the woofers blow. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. We got more at home. Another one bites the dust. Fires are glowing and the amps smoking. Subs are cherry red. Let me keep jamming, gotta keep the bass slamming. Gonna go hard till they're dead. Full power, gotta let it go. 20 hertz in the floating air. Sparks are flying, voice cords are frying, and the smoke is in the air. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one goes, and another one goes, and another one bites the dust. Hey, we got more at home. Another one bites the dust.